Recording 3, 2, 1. Hey, welcome everybody to Rolling on Three, the podcast for all three wheelers. Whether you're riding on a Spyder, right, a slingshot, anything on three wheels, this is the place for you. Today, I'd like to welcome Nancie to the show. Nancie is from New Jersey. Nancie, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's great
Thank
to be
you.
here.
Great, great. I'm glad to have you. I start off the show with the same question. What are you rolling on?
I am rolling on a 2019 RT Limited Can-Am Spider.
Nice, nice, nice.
That's my escape from reality.
And when did you get that
Um,
Can-Am RT?
Last December, December 9th. Yeah.
Okay. You purchased it from a dealer?
Yeah.
Mhm. Was it
My sports in Florida.
oh, okay, you purchased it in Florida.
hmm
Oh, okay, that's nice. That's
Well,
nice.
that's where it is because it's just much too cold here. And over there, whatever time, whenever I go there, I can ride it.
No,
There's
that's great because
no
yeah,
ice to have to deal with.
yeah, we're covered in snow right now. New Jersey, New York, everybody's covered in snow. That's cool. So why did you get a spider? Why'd you go for a spider?
Oh, spiders are beautiful. Have you ever really looked at them? The whole
Yes.
body, I mean, the headlights look like eyes. And when my ex-husband left years ago, I always called myself the Black Widow. So when I had always wanted this bike ever since it came out, like in the early 80s, which was the
I
rally.
think 90, maybe late 90s was
Yeah, something like that. But I had looked at those and those were I was like, they've got to get better than this because I really didn't like it. So once I was forced into retirement, I mean, I had to leave. I have 9/11 issues and I just couldn't do it anymore. So in
mhm.
2018 I left. I bought a house here in Jersey and in December I bought my bike.
Nice. That's
And
nice.
it's just been the most wonderful thing. It gives you freedom and it's just absolutely fantastic. It's just
That's
a
good.
beautiful bike, beautiful ride.
I hear you.
And let me tell
Uh, did
you,
you I don't want to cut you off, but did you ride before?
well, I had gotten my license 5 years, no, more than 5 years, about 8 years ago. I got my license over at CSI on a two-wheeler.
Okay.
But even after getting my license, I tried riding once or twice after, and I loved it. It wasn't that I didn't like it. I loved it, but I had such a problem with the shifts, with
Mm,
the gears.
okay.
Switching to first, going to second, going back down, going to neutral, and I was like, they've got to make me a semi-automatic. I said semi-automatic would be good. And the problem was that I never learned how to drive
Um,
a manual car. And they had told me if you'd learned how to drive that, you could drive anything.
that's true. Yeah.
So, I just became a professional passenger. I became
That's a
a
good way to put
professional.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. I would go riding with my friends, my friend Eddie, who's retired from PD,
Hmm.
and he belongs to the Blue Knights. But me in Florida, my cousin, it all started 2 years ago in Egypt.
Oh.
My cousin said to me, well, you're traveling with us and everything. You're here more than you're there. You need to join the Llamas, which is the Latin American Motorcycle Association.
Okay.
It's not a gang, which everyone perceives that it is, but it's not.
For
They're
riding
a
though.
nonprofit
Hmm.
and they give back to the community and everything. So one of the girls told me, "Oh, you're going to belong to the Sebring chapter." Now, Sebring is far,
Mm.
like an hour and a half from Lakeland, which is where my daughter lives.
Okay.
Excuse me. So I was like, yeah, right. I said it to myself. Meanwhile, we're driving through the desert, the Sahara Desert, and urinating in holes. And I mean, the whole 9 yards. It was quite the adventure, quite the experience.
Right.
But after seeing those Egyptians ride, oh my God, they had my daughter got to ride. My daughter went with me, my youngest one, Ashley. She got to ride in a slingshot,
Oh, nice.
in a slingshot. And this thing was hooked up from top to bottom. I have a picture of it, and of course my daughter videotaped it. She was like so excited. Um, you'd be amazed. And this was Egypt's first national. And about 300 of us went. Then
Wow.
last year we went to Cuba. And while we were in Cuba, I rode a scooter.
Okay.
And that's when I said, you know what? I got to stop being afraid, because that's what I was. It was my fear.
Right.
The fear just got the best of me, because even Eddie told me, you got to stop that. A couple of people told me, you got to stop being fearful. Just get right on a bike and go. I was like, well, it's not as simple as that. I was afraid to rent a bike because I was going to wreck their bike, and then what?
Right. Right. Right.
So I said, you know what? I'm going to buy the Can-Am. And this was last February, exactly a year I was in Cuba,
Okay.
riding a scooter. And I said, I'm going to get it. Ever since the talk we had going across the Sahara, I had kept thinking about it. And that was in November.
Hmm.
So by February, it's already in my head. So now I'm still going back and forth. And then this pandemic crap hit.
Yeah.
And I came back from Cuba to Florida. And then from Florida, I flew back home on March 14th.
Mm.
March 15th, everything shut down.
That's right. They shut the city down.
So I was confined to my home. And like I said before, I have a lot of 9/11 issues that are, they're serious issues, like
Hmm.
asthma, stuff like
Yes.
that.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
My daughter was my little one who lives here sometimes. She's a tattoo artist, by the way,
Oh.
on Staten Island. She kept saying, she goes, Mom, you need anything? I'll get it for you. Do not go out.
I hear you.
So for months, I was home. And then I saw the airfare go to $10.15.
Yeah, it
I
costs
said,
you more
I'm
in
going.
taxes. It costs you more in taxes to fly to Florida now than the actual ticket.
I am going. Let me tell you, last year I was in Florida like 5 more times because the tickets were so cheap. I've been in Florida this year already twice, and I caught COVID last year.
Mm,
So I had to be quarantined anyway.
mm.
I was quarantined in Florida. Let me tell you, I was on that bike every chance I got. The only time I didn't get on it was when they had the torrential downpours and stuff,
Right.
which would then taper off to like light rain. I was like, no, I'm not
And
doing that
in
on
that
my own.
area of Florida you in, how's the bike life out there? Do you see a lot of Can-Ams? Like, how is it in that area
Well,
you're
actually, let me tell you, I attract a lot of attention. I do. All these old men, but young men as well.
in?
On Harleys and stuff like that. But I'm in this group, and it's called the Can-Am Spyder RT Lovers.
Okay.
Now they voted me the Rider of the Month in December,
Oh, okay.
because I'll tell you the story just in case you didn't read it. I took that bike home. I went in on one day,
Hmm.
went home, told my daughter she had to follow me to the dealership. And she was like, Mom, what did you do? I said, I'm the proud owner of a Can-Am. She goes, oh, no, you didn't. I
That's the
said,
way to
yes,
do
I
it.
did.
That's the way to do it.
So I went and I picked it up, and I was terrified. Never been on a highway. I made the salesman drive it to my daughter's house.
Wow.
Yes, I was scared. And inside, I felt a panic attack coming.
Oh man.
He drove it to the house. So the how I became writer of the month of December was the whole story. I would look out the window and just look at the bike, and it was beautiful. It is beautiful. It's
It's a pretty
gorgeous.
bike. It's a pretty bike.
And that's why I decided to wear the shirt so you could see it. Um, oh, and the hat too. So I just kept looking at it, and I was like, I got to get up on that bike. I'm paying for this bike. One day,
Mhm.
went out, turned it on. First of all, I had to read the manual
Oh, of course.
because
Of
you don't just
course.
turn it on.
Right.
I
Yeah,
mean,
you gotta learn a little bit about the bike before you ride off on it.
exactly. Well, it was all new to me, and I was in a rush now
Right.
because now I'm like, okay, the fear's not there. Let me hurry up and see how much I can do. So I put the key in and like pressed it down and opened the trunk. No, open
The front.
I opened the where the
The
gas goes, the
oh,
seat.
okay.
So anyway, to make the long story short, couple of days went like that. My daughters, and this is all while we're quarantined, mind you.
Right.
All three of us. My oldest who lives there, my youngest who lives here, and
Mhm.
me.
Okay.
So all both of us were positive before Amy was, which is the oldest. My son-in-law never got it. The three kids, my grandsons didn't get it, thank God.
Well, the COVID hit very weird to everybody's family. I had got it. No one else in my family got it. So it to
Really?
me it hit people weird. Sometimes the whole family got it. Sometimes only one person got it. People I was next to didn't get it. So I don't understand how it works, but
Let me tell you, this disease has a mind of its own.
yeah, that's the
Because
truth.
I
That's
have
the
friends,
truth.
family that have died, and I won't even get into that.
I hear you.
But that's exactly how I got on my bike.
Now
Then
one, yeah, go ahead.
the llamas
Mm-hmm.
had a Tampa anniversary. Now I've come home. I came home January 12th or whatever it was. The llamas
Right.
Tampa anniversary was in the end of January, January 29th.
Mm-hmm.
So the vice president of the llama of my chapter, he was like, "Come on, we're getting you on the road." Let me tell you, I hadn't been on a highway, so just try to imagine
I
the,
know.
the imaginary vision
I know.
of me like this.
I know. You got the white knuckles. You're holding on for dear life. Everything looks like it's moving at 1,000 miles an hour when
Yes.
you're really only going 40 miles an hour. A person on a bicycle probably pass you. But no, I understand that totally.
Oh
I
heck
get
no.
it. I'm 100% with you on that. Like now, there's the llamas that you ride with. Is it a big group when y'all guys go out?
Yes.
Uh,
See, the llamas, the Sebring chapter. It's pretty big. I'm not sure exactly how many there are there, but I believe it's close to 50 members.
okay.
And at the Tampa anniversary, you had Tampa there, you had Lakeland there, you had Orlando there, you had Perth Amboy, which is here in Jersey. You had, oh my gosh, they
Right.
have chapters all over the world.
Okay.
Like I said, Cuba,
Right.
Egypt. We were supposed to go to Brazil last year,
Wow.
but because of COVID, they canceled it. But yeah, they ride in, they the staggering, and I
Yeah.
have to learn all of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they threw me on the highway.
Yeah.
I was like, albino, I've never been on a highway. Don't worry, you drive a car, right? Come on, let's go.
Yeah,
And
that's
my cousin was there too. And
that's
Jimmy was
it.
like, listen, you know how you teach a kid to swim, right? You just throw them in the water.
That's
Well,
right.
let's go. I said, do I have time to smoke a cigarette? He was like, heck no.
Where's the Where's the good spots? Because you know how people travel on their bikes. So if they're in New Jersey or in your area of Florida, you know how it is like a place where everybody meets with their bikes to fill up, gas up, talk.
Uh,
Where would that place be in New Jersey and in Florida? For all
well,
my just for
Perth
all my
Amboy.
listeners who travel.
I'm gonna start with Perth Amboy because Perth Amboy, I'm the professional passenger while I'm here in New Jersey because I will
Okay.
not drive here. Um, in New Jersey, they go Cooperstown. They go up by what is that? Bear Mountain, Bear Mountain, Monticello. And they do these runs when the weather's much better, obviously.
Hmm.
Um, but even in the winter, they just like to see the leaves change, and a lot of the men have spousal, they have spousal people, women that belong to it, and
Right.
they come along too. Um, as far as I'm concerned, I'm a full member now, so I have to earn my Lama de Dama de Lamas, which is a patch once
Right.
I've done 5,000 miles.
Okay.
I'll get there.
All
And in
right.
Lakeland, it's Lakeland is great because Lakeland, you go on Facebook and you have all these different um chapters that are on there. So you just say you're looking to go riding, and maybe somebody from the next town over will say, "Oh, listen, let's get together, let's go here."
Right. Right. Yeah.
Um, in Lakeland, they ride all behind the roads that are hardly traveled. I would
Right.
never go there by myself.
Okay.
But uh-uh.
Mhm.
In Florida, once you hit those boondocks, there are no lights. I haven't driven the Spider at night.
Oh no.
Nope,
Okay.
because we had a meeting where I received my P for prospect.
Hmm.
Um, and they asked me, but Nancy, where's your bike? I said, it's at home covered. He goes, well, how did you get here? I said, I brought the van. He said, but why? I said, because I'm not going home. I'm the only one that comes from
Oh,
so far. I could have joined the Tampa
right.
chapter or the Lakeland chapter.
Right.
But Lakeland chapter doesn't really, they don't really do much riding. Whereas Tampa's all over the place.
Right. So
So
how many miles did you put on the bike so far?
so far about six or 700,
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's pretty new. Yeah, you're
which is
pretty
it,
well,
it's
yeah.
great though. I
No,
mean,
no. I understand. I understand. I was only able to I got mine in 19, my right, and I'm probably
really?
yeah, so I was like yeah, I had to get in New York, I had to get on a waiting list to get it. That's how popular it was. Because I went and got
Really?
it when it first dropped, so I had to wait until they got some. So yeah, I had to wait. So I don't have that many miles between the winters we've had and COVID. Yeah, I'm
Mm,
probably like in 3,000. I should be doing a lot better, but
yeah.
it is. Did you do any, excuse me, modifications to it yet? Add-ons, anything like that?
Listen, there's enough on there already that I have to learn.
I
Once I learn it, then
understand.
maybe I'll change it. But other than putting a gold spider on the bottom, the back,
Okay.
right underneath my truck, because this is limited. This bike is like the Benz,
Yeah,
or
no, I seen it. It's a big boy right there. It's a
it's
lot. It's
beautiful.
yeah, it's nice. It's fully loaded. You got the whole thing, man. You got the whole
I've
thing.
got the radio. I've got everything. It's really a nice bike.
No, it is. It is.
Really. But
Let's
put more
talk.
miles on it.
What you say?
I'm gonna put a lot more miles on it. I'm going to
Oh,
Chicago in May, which is all women ride,
okay.
and I'm going to Dallas in June, which is the national. It's in Dallas, Texas. I already bought plane tickets.
So what are you
I
going to ship the bike down there?
I made the mistake of telling one of the guys, and he was like, "Plane tickets?"
You're supposed to drive. You're supposed
He
to
says,
ride your
"No,
bike down.
we're riding."
Yeah.
So I'm looking to cancel, just save my money and use it for something else.
Yeah, you
But
gotta. Some people ship their bikes to different states, but they usually like it when you just ride down. They feel
they do
better.
that when, with Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is very big, very big.
Hmm.
They have a couple of chapters over there.
Yeah, Puerto
Um,
Rico is a very big bike state.
yeah.
Very, very big bike state. I watch a couple of people and I follow some people from Puerto Rico, and yes, they
Have
are.
you seen the way they drive?
Yeah, they have a lot of fun. That's all I could
A
say.
lot of
They
fun, but
they they have a lot of fun.
it
That's
kind of
all I
like reminds me of Egypt, Dominican Republic too. They
they
just
have.
jump in. There's no lanes, and there's like people come from everywhere. But yeah, it's great. It's
Yeah.
great, and
I
I love.
like listen, I like the bike life. I mean, whether it's straight or crazy, whatever they want to do, they want to follow the roads, rules of the road, or they want to do be a little wild. It's all preference to me. So I
How long
get it.
have you
They're
been riding?
enjoying themselves, they're having a good time. So it is what it is. If nobody's getting hurt, then it's fine, right?
How long have you been riding?
I've probably been on two wheels for about 15 years maybe. And
Wow.
then I went to the three wheel when the Riker dropped. I always wanted a Can-Am Spyder, but to me it was big. And I was like, I'm not used to riding something that big. When you're on two wheels, everything is slim and you slide through. And then when they dropped that Riker, I was like, you know what? That's the perfect size for three wheels to what I was looking for. And, I ran out and I tried to get it. And they told me, nope, there's not that many in New York, bro. You got to get on a waiting list. And when they come in, we'll call you.
Wow.
And then they
How
called
long
me and I
did it take?
ran over and I got it. And I started, then I got COVID. I couldn't ride. Then I was out of commission. So I was just sitting there and I decided to start doing go out there and start accessorizing. And then I started videotaping, and that turned into a YouTube channel, and then the
That's
YouTube
another thing.
channel turned into a podcast, and then the podcast turned into, Can Am reaching out to me and wanting to work with me. And me and Can Am got some things going on. So it worked out. I see that you're in the Can Am Women's Mentorship.
Yes, I am.
How'd
And
that come about? What was that about?
again, in December, that whole story about sitting there and just looking at the bike, and then just finally um getting I stopped allowing the bike to intimidate me.
Okay.
And that was all because of Carrie, who's my mentor from Can-Am, Can-Am Riders. And I belong to that group on Facebook. And she just like she would talk to me. You can't let the fear overcome. And because of that story, Can-Am caught that story, and that's why they made me December Rider of the Month. But it's an excellent program. I have any problem, like at the beginning, I had a lot of problems. I was like, well, where the heck is this? And where the heck is it? And I don't know where that is. And oh, this was the biggest thing. Reverse. You laugh because you know what I was going to say next, right?
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
couldn't put, when the salesman brought the bike into my daughter's driveway,
Right.
he put it in front ways first.
Mhm.
So I'm reading the book and blah, blah, blah. The reverse, you got to press those two buttons, the R button and then the other one, the gear shift one, right?
Right.
I couldn't do it. I was like, my hand's too small. So I went on to this group. I went to Carrie Gary, her name is. And I said, how do I learn to go in reverse? So she told me, she says, just imagine you're in a car. You have to put your hands on, you got to change and shift to R, right? So
Right.
you press the R, And then at the same time, simultaneously, just press the gear shift. She goes,
Right.
you got to do them both at the same time and just make sure there's nothing behind you. Well, after a couple of, talks and um I did it. I
Mhm.
did it.
There you go.
I'm not going to say that I still don't have problems with it. I mean, I'm
Mm,
still learning it.
right.
And it doesn't help that I decided to come home and take care of my house, and there's all snow everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
we're buried into. Yeah,
uh,
it's tough. It's tough. I see people riding their Can-Ams out in the snow, but I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna wait. I don't like cold weather, so I'm not going outside unless it's to shovel and run back in or walk the dog. So I don't do that.
yeah, I'm like, mm-mm.
But I
I
can't wait to
I
get
like to
back on
ride,
mine.
but I would not ride in the city. It's just crazy. One of my good friends got killed on a motorcycle, and
Mm,
I think about that. I think about others that I've read about that have gotten killed on the motorcycles and stuff. And it's all about safety. It's safety first.
absolutely.
And you
Absolutely.
working where you work and me working and retiring from where we did, you know that safety is number one.
Oh, absolutely.
You've got to go with the safety. And Can-Am has all these videos and the mentorship program. I watch them. I watch them religiously because I don't want to forget
No,
while I'm here.
no, absolutely. No, it's good to stay informed. I mean, this the more you practice safety, the more you do it, right?
Yeah,
So the
yeah,
whole thing is to be aware and enjoy your bike life, and that's the way you want to, go out into the golden years is a rider safe, putting on some miles, visiting places like you said, you're going all over and traveling. You want to enjoy that bike, right? You don't want to be
that's
messed
right.
up
I
and
go
not
everywhere. It's
right. See,
great.
that's what it's all about.
I'm going
So
back on
yeah.
March 12th. I'm going back because the 13th is Orlando's anniversary. So they're
Okay.
having a big celebration over at and of course, COVID, 6 feet,
Yeah.
wear your mask, and you know what? I've gotten so used to wearing that damn thing. I just
it's
hang it on my ear and just keep it on.
it's becoming part of our wardrobe nowadays. Yeah.
Exactly. I have
That's
a
cool.
spider one. It's really cool. I was
Yeah.
hoping Can-Am was gonna send me a spider one, but they didn't.
Yeah, I hear that. Well, you know what? I started a little segment and it's been kind of fun. So I end the show with if you had to describe your Can-Am experience in one word or one sentence, how would you describe it?
Freedom.
That's good. That is good
Freedom
because
and
e-
escape.
escape. All
Both
right.
of those.
I hear you. No, everybody gives me a most of the majority of the question that when I ask it, everybody gives me a different answer. So I like it. I just like the fact that everybody gets a different feeling and enjoyment from Can-Ams. But
Yeah,
that's
Can-Am
just
is great. I love
that's
it. I
great.
have no regrets.
Well, if you Nancy, if you want people to follow you on in your Can-Am journey, you let them know what you got going on social media, your Instagram and all of that, just for the people who are not watching, people who just listen to the show.
Um, I'm on Facebook as Nancy Arroyo,
Hmm.
and on Instagram I'm BBT Nan.
Okay, so everybody that wants to follow Nancy on her journey with her Spyder 2019 RT Limited, you follow her social media, and she got a lot of tips and tricks, and she's involved in the riding community. So check her out. I'm Keith Hammer. This is Rolling on Three. You can find me on YouTube at Rolling on Three Wheels. You can find me at Instagram as the Shadow Black Riker. You can find me on Twitter at Rolling on Three. And if you want to email me for any questions or comments, my email is rolling on three wheels at Gmail. That's the number three. Nancy, it was great to have you on the show, man. Appreciate it. I got to have you back after you take some more adventures. That was great.
Thank you so much. This has been great. It's been good. Thank you.